QUBIC Labs presents Boston Blockchain Week, Stepping into the Future, celebrating the creators, innovators, and heroes of blockchain and Web3. I'm Mike Joshua for MuddHouse Media, reporting from Boston Blockchain Week 2022, presented by QUBIC Labs. With me now, Tim Cahill, president of the Quincy Chamber of Commerce. Tim, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So let's talk a little bit about this exciting week, the Boston Blockchain Week, and your involvement.
Yeah, it's interesting. First of its kind, in a spot that's never had Kilroy Square, which has never really housed anything that large. But as chamber president, we've been tasked by the city to sort of activate the square once it was open to the public. So we've had farmers markets, which will be there tomorrow. We've had beer gardens. We have a Christmas festival that we run every year. So my experience there has been helpful with Ian and John as they've tried to figure out how do you host a big event there. And it's really exciting to see the space used for something like this. I mean, this is a big deal for us. And I know it's the first of many big deals. This event is bringing people to Quincy from outside of Quincy, maybe even outside of Massachusetts. So it's a nice, really nice start for the industry here, for what Ian and John are trying to do at QUBIC, putting us on the map. And we feel like, we're the little city that could, right next to Boston, but we've got a lot going on here, and it's changing for the better all the time. So Perfect timing for us. Perfect timing for them to come in, and we look forward to this being an annual event going forward.
Absolutely, and Boston Blockchain is obviously forward-looking, like the chamber is. So,
correct. So
this is something absolutely that I think is going to catch on, and what a great spot to be, being so close to Boston with the wealth of just the education foundation. I mean, there's just so many kids coming up that have grown up in the tech space, and can adapt a lot quicker than maybe you and I, even just because they've grown up with it, so they can attach to something like blockchain and say, oh yeah, this makes sense and I understand it.
Much quicker than I, much quicker than I. But as I talked earlier, it's like if you go back to late 1990s and people were talking about the internet. It's going to be the future. It's going to be the future. Some people obviously figured it out before I did. The smart guys figured it out and used it, and I think blockchain with crypto, the crypto crash, is the same kind of philosophy in the sense that, it is going to be a big part of the future. We're not sure exactly how it's all going to work, but it will be there. It's an underpinning. And people that look at it now and shake their head, and I'm sometimes one of them, have to realize at the beginning just using the internet was a leap of faith. It was a total leap of faith. So, and for us here in Quincy, we're known as a city of presidents in the history, the political history, but we're really, I see us as a city of entrepreneurs. This was the place where Howard Johnson started, where Dunkin' Donuts started. We've got some really interesting tech companies like IntelliCare, Dive Technologies. They're building underwater submarines, unmanned. They're building apps for nurses. Those companies were formed here in the last couple of years at the Chamber Innovation Center back at the time. So for me, it's interesting. I love the politics, and I used to be in the field, but I really love when I see new businesses and new business types start here, 1 or 2 person operations, and now they're 200 people, and unicorns. And if we can get some of those from the blockchain industry, future unicorns, or realize that they can come to the chamber or they can go to QUBIC and get started. To me, if we're looking out 5 years from now and say this is where it started and now this company is a unicorn and the next stage, I think it's great. And when people realize that we're a short train ride to Harvard or MIT, one train, when the Chiefs first opened in the 70s, me and my buddies used to take the train to Harvard Square back when it was Harvard Square.
Right.
And it was great. It opened up a whole world to me and the guys I grew up with, a bigger world than what was Quincy. So we'd like to see that in reverse a little bit, people from Boston coming to Quincy, but either way it works, and we just would love to be part of the future.
Tim, tell us, how can people find out more about Quincy and the Chamber?
TheQuincyChamber.com. We're not the only Quincy chamber in the country, so we have to put the THE in it, We're pretty active. The city of Quincy is very, very business friendly. So if you want to start a business, any kind of business, a restaurant, a bar, or a blockchain company, it's pretty easy to do. So if you give me a call or reach out to me at info@theQuincyChamber.com, I can help you figure out where to get started and how to get started and who you need to know. Once you start, we want to find you a place to stay. And that's what we're doing with some of these newer companies, is not just helping them start up, but keeping them here, because it's the old Facebook story. Facebook started in Cambridge, and then they had to go to San Francisco to grow. We don't want, none of us do here in Massachusetts, want those companies to leave. So the better environment we have, the better for us. And we're an open book, and you can get me anytime. And I love to help and connect people and help with things like this, like Boston Blockchain Week, and anything that goes on for the future of Quincy, because we feel very strongly about our city, and we love it.
Fantastic. Tim, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
You got it. For more on Boston Blockchain Week, go to bostonblockchainweek.com. For more about QUBIC Labs, go to QUBICLabs.com.